Let's talk to Charles Feldman now, US political analyst, about what's going on over in his part of the world. The FTSE surged yesterday. In fact, I was reading a piece on the front page of the Financial Times this morning that Wall Street banks have reaped $37 billion after traders cash in on the Trump volatility. It's what I always say, whether the markets are going up or down, there's always a trader somewhere buying a new Lamborghini. Charles, very good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Plenty of Lamborghinis here in Los Angeles, I can tell you that
I'm
much,
sure, because this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, they don't make money when nothing happens. They make money when it goes up. They make money when it goes down. They buy it up. They buy it on the way down. It's always quite an extraordinary state of affairs. What's going on in America this week?
Well, a lot, and a lot of it has to do with the markets. I mean, there's still this enormous uncertainty about what the White House, what Trump is going to do when it comes to tariffs. You know, one day there are tariffs, the next day there aren't. Then there are deals being cut with different countries. You know, as I'm sure you know, there's great speculation about the U.S. having a special deal with the U.K., although the details of that nobody seems to know yet. So, you know, investors, as you know, they don't like uncertainty. Nobody does, but investors in particular don't. And so what happens when the markets open in the States tomorrow morning? Your guess is as good as mine. My best guess, Mike, is we're going to have another week of volatility.
Right.
We're going to have, you know, ups and downs and sideways and every way you can go. I don't think we're going to see a steady decline or a steady increase for that matter in the markets. I think it's all going to depend on the day-to-day announcements from President Trump about what he intends to do.
And that does tend to change, doesn't it? I mean, even just from the British perspective, there's talk of the tariff on cars of 25% being removed. There's talk of a deal being done very soon to remove the other 10% on some of the other stuff. You know, an awful lot of the tariffs that he has been putting on are very possibly going to be removed. You just don't really know, do you?
No, and you know, an awful lot of economists don't have a general dislike for tariffs. Many do, but some of them don't. What they don't like is what we were just now talking about, the sort of Monday it's one thing, Tuesday it's another, Wednesday it's something else again. You know, other countries have to have confidence in what the United States, which is the world's largest economy, they have to have confidence in what the U.S. is going to do. And you see this lack of confidence now in our bond market because a lot of countries, last week, China in particular, apparently they were selling U.S. bonds because that indicated a certain lack of confidence, lack of faith in the U.S. economy. And that's something that we have not experienced in this country for at least, you know, half a century, if not more.
No, true. Let's have a quick look at a couple of clips. We've got one here from Trump on self-deportation, which is one of his big bugbears at the moment.
As you probably know, we're doing a self-deportation. And we're going to make it comfortable for people, and we're going to work with those people to come back into our country legally.
¿Está funcionando la autodeportación?
Well, we're starting it. We haven't started it right now. We're getting the murderers out. We have our total aim on the very bad ones, as you can imagine, because you have some great people that came in, but we have some very bad ones. We had 11,088 murderers. Half of them killed more than one person. These are rough, bad people. We want them out. And that's mostly our focus. Yeah. But what we want to do is we're going to have a self-deportation program, which we haven't even announced yet. I guess I'm announcing it to you. Why not, Rachel? Here it is. The only thing I haven't determined is what are we going to do? We're going to give them a stipend. We're going to give them some money and a plane ticket. And then we're going to work with them. If they're good, if we want them back in, we're going to work with them to get them back in as quickly as we can.
And that was him talking on a Fox Spanish language network, which explains why the questions were coming in there in Spanish. This is quite an interesting idea, isn't it? He's basically saying that we'll deport you with your assistance and your cooperation. If you do cooperate with us, there's a chance we'll let you come back in legally if you apply through the right channels. But if you don't, and you don't agree to do it this way, then you'll never be able to come back. I mean, it's an interesting manoeuvre. Will it work?
Probably not. And the reason why it won't is because of suspicion. that an awful lot of people who are in, frankly, the United States illegally are not going to want to put their names down on. I think there's the idea is that there's going to be an app, and they can go on the app and they can sign their names and say, "Hey, here I am. I'm in Los Angeles, or I'm in New York, or Chicago, or wherever," and then they would be on their way off to wherever they came from, with a pathway back, as I think President Trump suggested, back to the U.S. But I think a lot of people who are in the country here illegally are going to be highly suspicious of that. They are going to be fearful that it will be a one-way ticket, and that they will be separated perhaps from family members, especially if they've lived and even worked in the U.S. for a good number of years. So I may be wrong on this, but if I had to hazard a guess, I think that the acceptance rate, if you will, of this particular venture is going to be very, very small.
Well, we'll see what happens. Good to talk to you. Charles Feldman, thanks very much indeed. US political analyst there